Salut et bienvenue mes amis à une autre brawl de semaine. What is up, you beautiful people, and welcome to another Direct Strike Weekly Brawl. We're playing here with Cakes, and it looks like the modifiers. Looks like we have a Stronghold for one of them. We have a Rescue Strike, and we have Void. Oh, Void is going to be interesting. Void has been reworked. It used to reduce income. Now it reduces sight range. Much better. I really do not like it when things... Did tier 2 get cheaper? Okay, no, I was tripping. Okay, I saw something as 225, and I was like, did tier 2 get cheaper? Oh no, that was the extractor I moused over accident. Sorry, boys. Yeah, I like crashed like twice already trying to get this game in here, but here we go. Finally get to be in the match with the YouTuber. Ooh, Hunter. Hello, Hunter. GLH, yeah. Buy my book at Rose Crypto, boys. Everybody be trying to push some cryptocurrency nowadays. Am I right, guys? But anyways, all right, boys. We're just gonna push forward here, and I'm probably gonna get some. Oh my God, look at that tiny vision range now. Holy, it's tiny. It is actually minuscule. Oh, did Ravagers get nerfed? No, they're 180. Okay, there's 180. I don't know. I felt like they got nerfed. I don't know. It's been a. Yeah, let's spit on those boys a little bit harder here. There we go. There we go. You really let them tunnel here so that they oh man, their vision range is tiny when they tunnel, but they can heal up when they tunnel, so that's good. That's sort of what I'm after here. I'm actually not sure what I'm up against here. My little roaches aren't really telling me much. But it does look like Cakes is up against Manx, which is going to be pretty good. Got some flame boys here. Well, I'm just going to go for... You know what? I'm going to go for some Swarm Hosts here, boys. Stronghold is not too bad for Swarm Hosts. I guess, because I'm just gonna end up meat shielding here. There is a... Oh, that's not what I want. Why am I pinging my Val Roach? I'm trying to ping Caldalis. I don't know how that happened. But anyways, what am I up against? It seems like there's two Manxes here. There's another Manx. Ah, jeez. Manx for me as well. Manx pour moi aussi. Manx for me as well. Let's see. But Manx for me means that the Aegis Guard are gonna go to town on me here, boys. Although the Locusts here should help out a little bit. By a little bit, I mean probably quite a bit. Yeah, they're gonna do a good job here. Except now the problem is this. I think I need to balance it out with some Ravagers. Actually, I need to mix it up. Oh, this is gonna be such a weird way to mix it up. Let's see. I'm gonna take 5 of these units here, but yeah. Oh, there we go. Let's put that down over there. And I was just trying to think, cause like I usually say, like when I do my opening, it's like, all right, what is up, you beautiful people, and something, right? Welcome to this is gonna be the blindsided brawl probably. But yeah, so like en français, I'm just thinking it's like, is it like, it's like salut. Right, so it's like hello. Oh, I was supposed to say like salut et quoi de neuf. And then I was like, my beautiful people is like, is it mon Jean Belle, or is it or is it like le Belgian? You know, because then the Belgian sounds like I'm saying like Belgian, but like in French that's Belgique. But anyways, I'm thinking about that because like in French, like, your adjectives go in different places than in English, and I'm just trying to figure that out. Oh my God, Cakes here is rolling up with some Kevs. He's just gonna smash those buildings. He's like, yeah, man, get them out of here. You know what I need? I need an Overseer actually. An Overseer can probably help me spot for my Ravagers here. Oh, that's not the Overseer button. But yeah, I don't know if I should put my Roaches a little bit further back actually. Might benefit from a deep V actually. Might benefit from a deep V here, but there we go. But yeah, I was thinking about like how to say like you beautiful people, because I was like, I'm probably gonna say like beautiful friends. I don't know, mon bel ami, ou mon bel Jean, ou c'est qu'est-ce que is it qu'est-ce que no qu'est-ce que vous a dire is like, is it, that's how would you say something, right? Qu'est-ce que vous a dire? I think that's, yeah, I think that's how would you say this. But yeah, let's see here. Siege tank here, gonna be smacking us here. Ravager here, ooh, just got taken out, and our spotting overseer also got taken out here. But creeper hosts are gonna be pulling through here, so that's gonna be good. I'm just gonna keep putting down some creeper hosts, but I do want to put down a queen or two. The only problem is queens are gonna get slapped. I'm gonna biomass this guy actually, and let's do that. Here, I'll put you here, put you there. I don't know if I want to do a DP here, but yeah, let's just have a look at it here. All I know is that this week, because of the Stronghold and the Rescue Strike, like the nuke that you have, and the reduced vision range, we're probably gonna have, on average, some pretty long games. Is what I am guessing. But yeah. Anyways, because I think okay, so because I'm just trying to work out my full French intro. I think it's gonna be like, so I already have like the salut, and I'm gonna say quoi de neuf, because quoi de neuf is like what's up, or like what's new, quoi de neuf. And then I just gotta figure out, is it like mon bel gens et bienvenue à le brawl de semaine, à un nouveau brawl de semaine. I think that's how it goes, right? And then it's like pour cette semaine, or is it for this one? This one is, I think set is this. Anyways, oh yeah, and thank you everyone for the encouraging comments in the comment section down below. I am really trying to like really nail it down, like nailing down like, because I did go to Montreal for a sort of learn French program like 2 years ago, but I sort of learned French a little bit, but I also enjoyed the experience of Montreal a little too hard. Like I was enjoying it as hard as I enjoyed Tempest. Yeah, there was quite a bit of enjoyment going on that was partially in French, but also partially steeped in ethanol. But yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna need some more creeper hosts, not creeper hosts, swarm hosts. Now, do I want to put them in a V? I don't know. I think I'm just gonna slap them all together here on the side here. But as soon as Manx gets the Earth Splitter, I might be in trouble here. So, I might want to think about switching to Guardians, but I don't quite like Guardians because Guardians, like, you need so many of them here. The Ultralists here are just going to be cleaving through these units. I think I do need some Vipers. Oh, my man, Locust, what are you doing? But yeah, oh right, Stronghold. I saw Marines, I was wondering who was Rainer. Yeah, okay, I think we should be able to like slap our way through here. I just used the mend, but I don't know if this was a good mend. It looks like this is indeed what you would call not a good mend. Aegis Guard just always is going to beat up my front line, like, just really effectively. Which just really sucks. The good thing is the Ravagers don't take bonus damage. The bad thing is the Roaches do, and the Roaches are going to be the meat of my front line. So we are going to be in a little trouble. So let's just actually, yeah, I'm going to go with tier 3. I don't think there's any other better time than to go tier 3 than now. Because we will need the Vipers anyways. Oh, Kev's on the cannon, boys. Kev's on the cannon. There's the nuke, but it's a little too late, boys. Kev is down. Can confirm, boys. Scout AI is down bad. I think that's probably the only way I can say it, boys. Scout AI is down bad. Please help the Scout AI, boys. Okay, so it looks like Manx is tier 3 now, and he's going to be breaching us pretty hard here with these Aegis Guard. C'est un problème. But I think it's a problem we can handle. It's a problem we can handle with a few Vipers. Anything is possible with a few Vipers. Let's see. I think on French is like, is it like si tu as, I do not know what the word few is. Oh no, a little bit maybe. Si tu as un peu de vipère, tous les mondes c'est possible. That's all the world is possible. Tous les choses c'est possible. I think that's the one. C'est possible? Est possible, I think. Est possible. Yeah, I use c'est too much, but c'est means like it is. Well, whereas est is more like is. Correct me. Please let me know. I'm very interested in how things translate. For example, like I learned that cela veut dire is like that is to say, or like that I mean. Because like veut dire is like I want, is like want to say. And then I'm like, what the heck is c'est là? Like let's see. This Swordhouse is doing a good job here, so let's just do that. Let's just get. Oh wait, buttons, keys, hello. Oh my god, I was trying to press some hotkeys. As you can see, that was a failure. It did not work out. But anyways, yeah. Ultralisk just coming in here, but ooh, they're chopping through the boys. Can they chop through the tanks though? Oh, they are gonna get through the tanks. Oh my god. Actually, I mean, the Stetman Ultralisks are quite durable, so I should not have doubted them ever. I'll be honest. Give them a little mend here. Give them a little extra juice. That'll help them out here. My Ravagers are doing a good job. I think with Abathur this week, I think sticking to ground, but making sure you have some Ravagers is key. Because Ravagers do a large amount of damage that your Swarm hosts do not. But they also do not have the capacity to absorb damage that your Swarm hosts do. So you want to mix and match here. And that is definitely an enemy nuke. You cannot use the nuke on your opponent's side of the field. I can try here right now. You can see, you can't. It's just an X. The nukes are purely defensive, you know, just as the government tells you, these nukes are purely for self-defense as we point them at other countries. Something Cold War. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna hit that. What are nukes called in French? En français, le nuke, is it like just like le missile nucléaire? Nucléaire? I don't know. Not everything in French works out the same way in English, is what I've learned, but sometimes it's worth a try because it might work out. It might just work out. C'est la point important. Is that all their nukes? Yep. That's 3. But yeah, like I saw 2, may have missed the 3rd. I think I saw 3. Did I see 3, or am I just seeing like caffeine goggles or whatever it is? Do those things exist? Caffeine goggles? I'm gonna put down some of these here. Man, our Stetman is going ham on these ultras, and these ultras are just they're taking some pretty good hits. They're taking some pretty good hits here, but they're getting beat up pretty badly. It's not too bad actually. Wait, the Aegis Guard are getting grabbed in, but that's gonna give vision to our opponents here, which is kind of bad. Oh, my Vipers are getting feedbacked by the Emperor Shadows here, and that is bad. Mengsk has his artillery, but I don't know if he's like microing them, or like does the artillery not see as far? I don't know. Let's see. So I'm gonna probably need a few more Vipers at some point. I'll just keep slapping down Ravagers. I think I just gotta keep slamming Ravagers right now. The Stormpulse are doing their job at like keeping our opponents occupied, and also cutting through Adepts pretty nicely. So that is good. C'est bon. C'est a good thing. So here's the thing. Une chose is a thing, but is it like a thing as in like anything? You know, like oh wow, okay. Those ultras just went ham on that Nexus here. But yeah, usually swap to the energy if they're low. So yeah, I will learn from this. Fun game, Escanor. There we go. GG's Hunter. But Hunter's gone. But yeah, I think against Abathur as Mengsk, you would want. I would actually like I prefer putting the tanks on the flank because they are less likely to be focused down. But you will need something to deal with Vipers. I think Pink Mengsk here had a good idea. Because Emperor Shadows are very good against Abathur. If Abathur buys queens, boom, nullified. They get feedback, then they die. I took quite a bit of damage here. Didn't really do much, which is expected. I mean, Abathur this week kind of suffers, and Cakes is gonna be off. Yeah, not too much mineral value, but man, what is that's some real DP. Oh wow, okay. So Cakes just had a super thick front line and just went ham on the hammers. All right, well, let's go to the tier list, boys. All right, and we are back. Let's get right into it. So, game plan, we're going to talk about the ores, we're going to have a look at the overall strategy, and we have a look at the commander rankings. If you guys have made it this far into the game, video, whatever, and you're not yet subscribed or you haven't dropped a like yet, be sure to do so, and let's go. So as you know, the Brawl modifiers this week, we have Stronghold, so base is constructed as you push up. We have Rescue Strike, you get a free defensive nuke that you can only use on your side. And we have Void, units have a reduced sight range by a radius of 3. So units just can't see as far. So my prediction is that this week we probably will want to have some sort of creeping siege. So usually in Stronghold, siege units are quite strong. You just buy a bunch of siege tanks and then you turn off your brain and they'll smash everything. But I think this time, because of the Void, which reduces siege tank vision by 3, or just all siege units, just all units vision by 3, it's probably helpful to have some sort of invisible flying unit like observers, or a unit that doesn't draw aggro, that's just sort of hanging out somewhere that will help give vision. That, or you can just have a lot of units that run in and they don't die easily, or they revive if you're Karax, and then you go from there. So I think that's generally the strategy this week, and so let's just have a look at the rankings. So in the S tier, I think I want to put Karax here because Karax Beam replaces your nuke, so you could use it instead of a nuke. You could also use it aggressively. Karax's Siege is not too bad as well. You could go for Carriers, which I'm not sure if Carriers actually need vision, because I don't know if Interceptors provide vision, so that's something we can figure out this week. And if you decide to go Ground Karax, the Sentinels are great at providing vision at the front, because all they do is run in, die, and then respawn and die again. So it'll give your Colossus a lot of time to like acquire targets. Similar thing for Alarak, except Alarak is the unit that is going forward to gain vision. And Alarak's pretty good against buildings. They kind of nerfed his potential against buildings, but I think like he still does quite a bit of damage to buildings nonetheless. However, he might be a little bit more vulnerable this week due to the reduced range. Vision range at least, so his increased range is not going to be as beneficial. But still, I think overall, still Alarak is going to be quite powerful because of that unstoppable or like undying front line that is Alarak. And I actually want to put Vorzun here as well for the same reason of her activated ability being quite strong with her little black hole. Also, Alarak can supercharge Stronghold buildings. Forgot about that one as well, so that's another note. But yeah, Vorzun's black hole, you can use it to stop a wave, use it as a timing push, and I think Vorzun being mostly invisible, you can probably go for like invisible void rays to siege down buildings if like you're going super greedy, or you can just have invisible stalkers here and there, and they just sort of exist, you know, they're just vibing. And I think overall Vorzun's going to be a pretty safe pick if you're doing that stuff. And also Corsairs are great at unsieging enemy siege lines, so that's perfect. And Vorzun is very vulnerable to long-range enemy air units, and now with the reduced range, she might have a little bit more time to close the distance, or have her invisible units close the distance, thanks to some frontline units scouting. Next, in the A tier, we have actually quite a lot of A tier commanders this week, I think. I think Stukov is going to be one because of his infestation ability that allows him to spawn broodlings, which will give him vision. He can also give himself lots of vision by just having lots of civilians. Stukov also has access to tanks, so that is a no-brainer. But I'm thinking actually Diamondbacks might not be too bad, because like Diamondbacks have a decent attack range. Yes, they don't do splash, so eventually they will not be as good as tanks. But in the early to mid game, I think Diamondbacks would be not too bad at all. You could also go Banshees, I think, because they're invisible. But Banshees overall are just not as great because they also don't have AoE. I don't know, and they clump a lot, so kind of vulnerable to AoE themselves. Nova, I think, is going to still be good because, you know, 20 range tanks, yes, they can't see as far, but you know what? Nova has a pretty strong front line herself, so it doesn't matter your tanks can't see as far because your front line is going to see for you. You can always drop a scan as well. So I think in a Stronghold Brawl, Novas has to be up here. And we also have Artanis. I would say Dragoons are actually going to be pretty good this week, coupled with maybe like an Observer or like Zealots, so like just pure Gateway Artanis. You just run in there, pull up, and have your Dragoons provide supporting fire. Could be a strategy. Tempest Enjoyment, I'm actually not so sure, because Tempests aren't that great against buildings overall. And there's nothing to really spot for the Tempest. You basically need a spotter this week. It's kind of like you're sniping, you know, you need someone to help tell you where everything is. And actually, I think Hunt and Horner is going to be pretty strong if you go for a Galleon transition, because Galleons spawn units which will then spot for the Galleons. You will also have a front line that loves to run in and explode. That could be a bad thing, though, because then your Galleons have to move in closer because the entire front line has exploded. But, you know, I feel like it could still be doable. And then finally, in the final slot in the A tier, I think Manx deserves a spot here. I was going to put him a little lower, but I think Shock Divisions are just a little too good. His only problem is he doesn't really have a very reliable group of units that can stay alive for more than 10 seconds in the front line. Most of his units just go in and die terribly, except for the Royal Guards. So you might have to spot with some Medivacs. So I think those would still be very useful. So, because Medivacs also do not draw aggro unless there's nothing else to shoot at. So they're great spotting units. Next in the B tier, we have commanders who I think could do a decent job, but are lacking in either siege or some sort of good, reliable front line. In the case of Kerrigan, I think she's lacking in siege. Lurkers are great against large amounts of small units, but not so great against buildings. Like, they don't do a lot of damage. You just need a lot of lurkers to really make the buildings start feeling it. But she does have a great front line. You can just charge things down with Ultralisk, and like those things come back and they keep coming back. So if you're supporting an ally, really good. Raynor has the opposite issue, which I think is you could buy your fast siege tanks, which are less vulnerable to the reduced vision range. Raynor can also give his tanks more vision by scanning. But Raynor doesn't really have a front line that lasts too long once you hit like late game, mid to late game. You just get blown up. So that's a problem. Although Hyperion could be a good spotting unit in the case where you get there, but it's gonna be harder to get Hyperion now than before thanks to the supply drop change. I think the Haka can potentially be higher, because he's got great front line, and he's got great siege as well, siege potential, but he kind of lacks in the AoE department of the siege, because I'm thinking Impalers are actually a great choice against buildings overall, but Impalers lack AoE, and then so like you'd have to get Creeper Hosts, and Creeper Hosts have a much lower DPS than Impalers, but you will eventually want Creeper Hosts, so it's kind of tenuous, right? The Haka's got a great front line too, so he's got great units to spot for his back line. It's just sort of that finding that balance. In the C tier, we have commanders who have some potential, but I envision will be struggling. So Phoenix can kind of do the same thing Karak does. You can probably spam like large amounts of Colossus, I would say, because Colossus have a good amount of range, and then probably something like either some Legionnaires to run forward. You'll probably need Legionnaires to run forward, and then you can probably build Phoenix himself as the Arbiter and just become invisible. Just drop that micro. I think that could potentially be really good against buildings. Now, that being said, you also need to be good against whatever you're up against. So if it so aligns, then the Colossus is not too bad. Tychus, I think, always has a tough time in Stronghold brawls because his units usually get held up, and then there's just large amounts of siege units. And I don't know if the reduced range is going to be a problem for Tychus. It might be, because Tychus doesn't really have any way to amplify his vision range. And he's usually limited by, well, what his AI targets. So it's going to be a little harder to play Tychus well, I think, this week. But if you do have that Tychus knowledge, you can probably still take him all the way. And Abathur, I have him in the C tier, even though it seems like Abathur should be somewhere higher up. Vipers are great at unsieging enemy siege units, but I don't know. I don't think, like, Abathur's siege potential has been reduced because of the fact that Locusts, like the Swarm Host, can't be micro to not unburrow, and Swarm Hosts without the extra vision range are kind of weak. I mean, Swarm Hosts themselves are just sort of like sponges. They're just damage sponges overall. So they might be able to spot for your allies, but like they could also potentially get overrun. And Abathur doesn't really have any good spotting units. They, like, most of his front line just goes in and either survives or dies. And his other siege unit, the Guardian, is not that great against most things. Ravagers might be pretty good, so I don't know, I'm pinning it on Ravagers right now. And in the D tier, we have commanders who I think are going to struggle. So yes, Swan has the highest power, like most powerful tanks in the game, but I don't know if Swan can really spot for his tanks. So you have to babysit the tanks extra hard this week, because with the reduced vision range, they're literally just going to unsiege after they've sieged up because they can't see anything anymore. And that is going to be a tragedy. Also, because Swan's front line isn't really that durable, and like maybe his science vessels can spot for his tanks, but that's about it. And probably the science vessels might just float on top of the tanks, giving them shields or something. They don't really do anything, unless I guess like they might follow some Hellbats in the battle, but then they'll retreat backwards. So kind of gonna be a struggle for Swan here. I think Zagar also struggles when there is Stronghold, because her entire build is to just explode, and if there's more things to explode on, she can just do less damage. So it'll take her longer to get up and running, but when she does get up and running, she'll do that same Zagara thing. It also doesn't help that her units can't see as far. Like her hunter killers, her main DPS have to get even closer than they already are, which is not good. And then finally, Stetman in the D tier. I think your standard ground Stetman build is going to struggle. I think perhaps BCL and Zerglings could be a good combination. But you need to somehow get to a large amount of BCLs before your opponent somehow decides that it's a great time to counter you, which in most situations is probably going to happen. So yeah, Stetman, D tier, boys. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the rankings in the comment section down below. And until next time, a bientôt.
The tires. Let's light some fires.
Need a light.
They picked the wrong fight.